From Mitchell's Plain has also been charged with rape. The child was found buried in a shallow grave in Eastridge on the premises where the suspect Christopher Lee Brown lived. Her body was discovered on Sunday, a day after she went missing. Brown appeared in the Mitchell's Plain Magistrates Court early today.
Outraged at the murder of such a young child, community members convened in front of the Mitchell's Plain Magistrates Court in protest against this heinous crime. Inside, the suspect, who is the former boyfriend of the child's mother, appeared briefly. The court heard that Christopher Lee Brown faces a litany of pending charges, including murder. The 6-year-old went missing on Saturday, a body found in the shallow grave a day later, mere meters from a family home. Angry community members petrol-bombed the premises and clashed with police following the discovery of the child's body.
We want justice. That's what we want. We want him to rot in jail. He must basically die in jail. He mustn't come out.
The grade 1 learner was laid to rest yesterday in accordance with Muslim rites. The community has called on the harshest punishment for perpetrators of child murderers.
That moment was very hard for me. No one was there to help her. How she feel as she was struggling for her life. You know what I mean? She's struggling. Yup, no one is there. No, how can he get bail? How can he get bail?
I'm calling for the death penalty to be instated for people like that. Because a man or a woman who can kill a child has no heart. Right? We have children of our own. We fear for our own children.
The suspect, who has been charged with rape and murder, has been remanded in custody. He's due in court on the 24th of July for a bail application. The state intends to oppose it. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Mitchell's Plain.
1.2 million voters will be removed from the voters' roll before the 2019 elections if the IEC is not granted the grace period that it's seeking. The Constitutional Court gave the electoral body 18 months to comply with its 2016 ruling. The deadline to obtain all voter addresses lapses in just 3 days' time, but 1.2 million people have not updated their details. The IEC says that it needs 17 more months to comply with the Constitutional Court's ruling.
By the time we started, we had about 16 million people for whom we did not have addresses, or we had partial addresses. And the numbers have actually been going down since then. So from that time until now, we are only dealing now with about 1.2 million people for whom we don't have addresses.
The Constitutional Court allowed the 2016 local government elections to go ahead, but it gave the IEC a June 30, 2018 deadline to have addresses of all registered voters. But with the 2019 elections looming, it is now clear that 1.2 million voters still don't have addresses.
A person describes exactly where they live, and we then use that information to locate the person within the correct voting district. So we are making progress. But as I've indicated, the biggest problem is a situation where people have moved, they've changed addresses, they're still there on the voters' roll without the addresses.
The IEC is requesting a further 17 months from the Constitutional Court to comply, and during this time, it hopes the hype to vote will encourage more people to update their details, but there is a worst-case scenario.
Firstly, you've got to go to the people and indicate to them that you're going to be removing them from the voters' roll, but because you don't have the addresses of those people, Section 5(1) of the regulations on voter registration will tell us that then it means you've got to now publicize that information in local newspapers as well as regional newspapers or any other platforms that we can be able to publicize that information in order for a person to be able to respond. And then if the person is not able to respond, then you can then remove them. But you've got to give people opportunity first, and that section gives you a process through which you can actually be able to get feedback from a person that you're about to remove from the voters' roll. So that is the worst case scenario.
In 2016, Chief Justice Mogoeng said the Electoral Commission's failure to record all available voters' addresses on the National Common Voters Roll is inconsistent with the Constitution and invalid. The IEC's fresh application for extension will determine if it gets more time or if 1.2 million less voters lose their eligibility to vote. Ntakwana Ngatane, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Pitbull.